All right, let's jump right in. We're going to tackle a question that's getting more and more relevant every single day. Is our relationship with AI changing not just what we do, but who we are becoming? We're going to get into the real science of how artificial intelligence is shaping our minds and even our bodies.
I mean, you've probably wondered about this, right? When you ask your smart speaker for a quick fact, or you let your GPS handle the navigation without a second thought, are you just being efficient, or is something much, much deeper going on? We're going to see why this is so much more than a conversation about convenience. It's actually about our long-term cognitive health.
Okay, so the big idea we need to wrap our heads around is this thing called cognitive offloading. Now, this isn't some brand new phenomenon. Humans have been using tools to make thinking easier for centuries, writing things down, using an abacus. But the difference is the incredible power and reach of modern AI, well, that presents a completely new kind of challenge for our brains.
Right, so even though offloading our thoughts is natural, today's AI is just different. Think about it. A calculator helps you with one very specific task, math. But AI, it can start to take on complex reasoning, creative tasks, and decision-making, things we've always thought of as uniquely human.
And that's where we hit the real danger here, something called cognitive atrophy. It's the perfect metaphor, really. Your brain is just like a muscle. If you stop exercising it, it gets weaker. And if we constantly outsource the heavy lifting of thinking to AI, the neural pathways that are responsible for those skills can actually begin to weaken.
So this whole use it or lose it thing, what's actually going on inside your skull when this happens? Let's dive into the hard science, because what happens to your brain when you start leaning too heavily on digital tools is, well, it's pretty fascinating.
This is a core principle of how your brain works, right? It's called neuroplasticity. Your brain is not a static object. It's constantly rewiring itself based on what you do and what you think about. So when you delegate tasks like navigation or remembering facts to an AI, the brain networks for those skills get less of a workout, and over time, they can actually degrade.
Okay, and if you think this is all just theory, check this out. This is where it gets real. This isn't a metaphor anymore. A groundbreaking study found that people who habitually use GPS had measurably less gray matter in their hippocampus. That's a critical brain region for spatial memory. We're talking about a direct, physical change in the brain structure, all linked to cognitive offloading.
And it's not just about finding your way around town either. It's messing with our memory. They call it the Google effect. Researchers found that we're getting way better at remembering where to find information, but we're getting a whole lot worse at remembering the information itself. Our brain, in its quest to be efficient, is basically optimizing for the search bar, not the actual knowledge.
You might think, okay, so my brain changes a bit. What's the big deal? Well, the ripple effects go way beyond just cognition. This over-reliance on AI can impact our stress levels, our sleep, and believe it or not, even our social skills. Being constantly connected takes a real physical and mental toll.
Think about it. That feeling of being constantly plugged in, always on, it actually throws your body's main stress response system totally out of whack. We see chronically high levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, which then messes up your sleep and can even weaken your immune system.
And this sets up a really nasty, vicious cycle. Let me walk you through it. You're using your devices late at night, and that blue light messes with your melatonin production, so you sleep poorly. The next day, you're tired, your focus is shot, which makes you lean even more on AI to get through your day. And then the cycle just repeats itself, night after night.
And then there's our social lives. The more time we spend interacting with AI, the rustier our real-world people skills can get. Research from folks like Sherry Turkle shows how this can actually increase social anxiety and make it harder for us to feel empathy, because AI just can't give us the rich, messy, complex feedback of a real human conversation.
All right, so that's a lot of doom and gloom, I know. But here's the good news. None of this is set in stone. The research is just as clear that these effects are not inevitable. So now we're going to pivot to the solutions, a full evidence-based workout plan to keep your brain sharp in the age of AI.
The key here is being intentional about it. Think of it like a workout plan for your brain. Deliberately practice skills you'd normally offload, like doing some quick math in your head or trying to navigate a new place without GPS. Mindfulness helps a ton with focus. And get this, physical exercise has been shown to literally grow the hippocampus. Yeah, that same part of the brain we saw was shrinking in the GPS users.
And if you're skeptical that this stuff actually works, take a look at this. This chart shows the results from a study where people took just a 1-week break from their digital tools. The results were incredible.
significant improvements in well-being, life satisfaction, and cognitive performance. Just giving our brains a little break really works.
But you know, all of these tips, they all boil down to one master skill: metacognitive awareness. It's a fancy term for a simple idea: thinking about how you think. It's about taking a step back and consciously asking, do I need to use AI for this, or should I engage my own mind? It's the key to staying in the driver's seat of your own brain.
So where does that leave us? The goal isn't to ditch AI and go live in the woods. Not at all. It's about figuring out how to build a smarter partnership with it, a future where AI augments our own intelligence instead of just replacing it.
And really, we're standing at a fork in the road. This slide breaks it down perfectly. One path is replacement, where we become passive, AI does the thinking, and our brains atrophy. The other path is collaboration, where we stay in the loop, using these amazing tools to amplify our own abilities and achieve more than we ever could alone.
So the really exciting path forward is this idea of complementary intelligence. It's not about us versus the machine. It's about what we can do together. We bring the things humans are amazing at: creativity, empathy, strategy. AI brings what it's amazing at: crunching massive amounts of data, finding patterns, and executing tasks with incredible speed. It's a partnership.
And that's really the heart of the matter, isn't it? This isn't a race against AI. The real goal is to double down on and strengthen the skills that are uniquely human: critical thinking, creativity, ethical judgment, so that we can guide these incredibly powerful tools wisely.
So at the end of the day, it all comes back to this one simple, powerful idea. Your brain is your single greatest asset. In a world that's getting smarter and smarter with artificial intelligence, being deliberate about our own cognitive health isn't just a nice idea, it's essential. The real question is, how will you choose to sharpen your greatest tool?